Yannick Zenhausen is a composer for film and TV and joins me on BBC Radio Stoke this lunchtime. Yannick, sad news, a real legend when it comes to film composition, wasn't he, Ennio Morricone?
Yes, I think, except maybe John Williams, Ennio Morricone was the absolute top film music composer and still is held in high regards these days, yeah, absolutely.
What made him so special, do you think?
So there was the whole American, Western scene that was largely using, when we're talking about film scores, it was largely using orchestras. And Ennio Morricone, he came along and he came from the Italian side. And he basically introduced, just like you said before, Stuart, he introduced new elements, like whistling, like animal sounds, like special instruments you haven't heard before. And therefore he was labeled like the avant-garde composer when it comes to Western films. Of course he's done more, but I think he's widely known for his Western music, yeah.
Because his background, it was sort of jazz trumpet, and it was this sort of avant-garde, modern, classical music was where he came from with this, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yes. So he did, the usual studies, and he went to school, and he learned everything from there. But basically, he took it to a whole different level. He really deviated from the standard recipe of like using orchestras and doing everything sort of formulaic, and he really came up with something new. And he didn't just influence the film music business, but also the general music business, different sorts of composers and artists, musicians.
Oh, I know he worked with the Pet Shop Boys on one of their tunes, which we might play a bit of a bit later because it's glorious. It's a fabulous piece of music.
Exactly.
And the other thing, I know you've been involved in computer game music, I think, haven't you, in the past as well? I think we've spoken about that before. And there
Absolutely.
are elements of I know he hated the phrase spaghetti westerns, which is what they may be referred to as from time to time. But there's elements of that in lots of computer games now, and the things that you will see that does need music. Again, his influence, I imagine, comes through there too.
Absolutely, and just the mere thought of going new. And I think what was important, he really made composers, break out of what is standard. And so these days, when you of course now in 2020 many things have been done and there's really nothing new that you can you can't reinvent the wheel. You just basically take things and put them together differently. But really what he did is he made you aware of the fact that you can go where you want as long as you've got an idea and as long as you can sell it, as long as you are behind it. You can do basically anything you want.
Yannick, lovely to talk to you. Thanks very much for your time from Switzerland. Music composer for film, TV and computer games, Yannick Zenhausen.